Greetings, race fans, and welcome back to Raceday.tv and Dakar 2021, the Southern African influence. Hugely privileged today to be joined straight from the bivouac in Saudi Arabia in Hail by Baz KTM Dakar racing team, SKYLER HOWES. SKYLER, stage winner of stage 3 this year. Welcome to Raceday.tv. First in overall classification, got it right. Welcome to Raceday.tv. I think we've got a bit of a dodge connection.
Shoot, I lost all the audio. Oh no, I lost all the audio. Now? I can't hear anyone.
All right, I'll tell you what,
oh no, what happened?
Steffi, if you'll get SKYLER to reconnect, and then we can...
I'll do that immediately. Hold on, stand by, guys.
Part of the reason that we're talking to SKYLER HOWES, and there is very definitely a South African influence, a South African connection. You wonder what it is. I'll tell you what it is. He is using a Myra rain jackets along with a goodly portion of the Dakar field on motorbikes. Myra jackets, what are they all about? Made in South Africa. In Myra, the tribute, and Steffi Vetter knows the names a lot better than I do, so we'll just talk about it. But they are South African rain jackets. They've taken over, they've gained immense popularity in the bike community at Dakar, and that is why we're talking to SKYLER. He led Dakar on the bikes on stage 3, and if we look at the way things have gone up and down, SKYLER, Short introduction. We was just talking to the readers, our listeners, our watchers now. The South African connection with SKYLER HOWES of the Baz Dakar KTM racing team is you running in the Myra jackets, which are made and developed in South Africa.
Yeah, so Myra has made all my jackets for me, and they do incredibly good work. So I have my jackets and also the rain jacket that's all made by them, and they've also made me a few jerseys. So they're an incredible company to work with, very, very nice and personable, and they make a super, super good rally jacket.
Awesome stuff. And SKYLER, you led after stage 3, led the bike field, and the whole bike, the race has been a big seesaw this year. What do you attribute the big swings in times or in positions to? Is it the closeness of the race?
So actually, they did something this year. They tried to make the navigation quite difficult, but it only made the navigation difficult for the people in the top 5. So if you start outside of the top 5, you actually have quite a huge advantage for a lot of tracks to follow. Without those tracks, you have to do all the navigating, and it's a lot of guesswork. So what happens is you normally it's a huge deal to win a stage, and people really try for that. But actually, if you want to win the overall of the Dakar this year, you don't want to win any stages, because if you win, you're pretty much guaranteed to lose at least 30 minutes the next day. So that's how we're having this big yo-yo effect right now, is people are winning stages and they finish 30th on the next day. That gives them lots of tracks to follow, so then they come up and they win the next stage, and then it just keeps happening back and forth. So actually, you kind of in the mid game and not really pushing full gas every day and just shooting for kind of that 8th to 15th range played a huge role in that, because I just stayed consistent, and that bumped me up into the overall lead for a day, which was really cool.
And one of the other talking points, apart from the navigation, SKYLER, is tires. 6 tires for the whole of the race. How are you shaping up on the use of your tires?
Right now, I'm right on schedule. Unfortunately, I had one tire that I ran for a day, and I got a big slice in it. And similar to what happened to Ross last year, he had a tire failure, not because of anything bad, but he got a slice in the tire, which caused the mousse inside to overheat and disintegrate. So unfortunately, we need to at least do 2 days on each tire, and I got only 1 day out of one of the tires because I got that slice in there. So it's too risky to try and run it again. Otherwise, I'd be right on schedule, but I'm one tire down now. So I got a little bit more strategy to kind of play and figure out for the week to come. And I think we're going to be running in a little bit more rocky washes. And up in the northern part, there's a lot more rocks up there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be tricky because the rocks are a lot more aggressive on the tires. So I personally don't like the rule. I think it's what they're trying to do is make it slower. They're trying to slow all the bike guys down, and I just don't think that that's happening. People are just going to go out there and try and race on bald tires now. So it's I think it actually more dangerous in my opinion. So yeah, it's strategy that we have to figure out, and I'm hoping that we have a couple good days there that the tires don't get too wore out, and I have something on the last day and not something that's totally bald.
It's very difficult to tell a racer, hey, listen, slow down today because next week, Thursday and Friday, you're going to need today's tire.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really difficult, and I get what they're trying to do, and I understand it, but I just don't think it's the right call. I don't think it's the call that needs to be made. I think, maybe there could be some other ways to try and slow the pace down. And, like I said, they're making the navigation more difficult, which is supposed to slow us down, but it's only slowing down the top 5 guys. So anyone starting behind it is just full gas anyways. So,
Steffi, when you've got some questions, jump in and let's talk to SKYLER. You brought SKYLER into Raceday.tv, and you haven't met face to face. So tell us how, Steffi, how the relationship started.
You know what, Skylar, I was trying to think back to when we first started chatting, and it seems so long ago, but I think the connection is Graham Sharp from Zimbabwe, because Graham rode the Sonora. And when Graham came back, he just said, what a magical bunch of guys you are. And I'm so excited to talk to you on behalf of the legions of friends and fans you have in Southern Africa. But Skylar, I wanted to ask you, as a privateer, obviously on Bart's team, the Baz Dakar KTM racing team, how difficult was it for you to get to the Dakar? And what was your prep in the COVID world in America? You're from St. George in Utah. So if you can tell everyone watching a little bit more about that journey that you had to take, because it's really, really tricky as I get blown away.
yeah, so yeah, the whole COVID situation has been really difficult. I did my first race with Bart in the Andalusia rally in Spain, and just trying to get into Spain was extremely difficult. It took about a month of planning and work and trying to figure that kind of stuff out. So this whole COVID thing has been quite difficult. Where I live in St. George, it's pretty much wide open. If anything, things got more busy when COVID happened because everyone treats my hometown as like a vacation spot. So your own Tay Perry actually got to spend quite a bit of time with me there in St. George, and got to ride some dirt bikes and go to the lake and go on hikes and all types of crazy stuff just because it's pretty much open. So when she got stuck there, unfortunately, she got stuck in a random country, but at least she got stuck in St. George where she wasn't limited on too much stuff. So for just training and all that kind of stuff, it's been quite nice. But yeah, the whole preparations to get here and to be a privateer in the States and all that, it's not as popular Dakar is. So to try and find companies to get sponsored by anything like that is quite difficult. But this year there's been a lot more people that have been involved and really wanted to help. So I had T-shirts and some fundraisers and some things like that made up. And with all of that, I actually had to sell pretty much everything I own. So I have no dirt bikes left. I have a mountain bike and a bed, and that's it. And I'm using a truck that a friend let me borrow. So, but other than that, I have no other possessions. I sold everything that I have, and yeah. So there's been quite a lot of sacrifice to get here as a privateer, but I'm happy to be here, and a lot of other people stepped up, just like I said, to either buy T-shirts and all that kind of stuff. So it's been pretty incredible to see the support that I have from people around the world and all over the place. So that side of things has been the most difficult, I would say. As hard as Dakar is, getting here in the first place was an extreme challenge, and now I'm just having a good time and having fun on the motorcycle. So when the helmet goes on, for me, it's the less stressful time, I think.
Skyler, it's actually the level of commitment that racers take to get to places. It borders, it's almost on the selfish, but you know that you have to give yourself a true 100% go at this, because, you know, you raced against Ricky Brabeck, you beat him on occasions, and so you clearly believe in yourself. What is the next step that you're really hoping for, assuming you have a reasonable Dakar, then what?
Well, I mean, everyone can hope about things, but it all comes down to, you know, a certain amount of luck and all that kind of stuff. I mean, Dakar in the first place has to deal with quite a bit of luck, which is something that you just can't control. So, yeah, I grew up with Ricky, and I've beat him quite a bit, and I've seen the way he does things, and you know, all that kind of stuff. And just as last year, even after he won the Dakar, I competed against him, and you know, I can compete against him, and so it gives me a lot more motivation that if I come here and I can do well with proper support and, you know, a better motorcycle than I had last year, just some other stuff like that, I think it's, you know, I don't want to ever put too high of expectations on myself. After all, I am a privateer. I had to pay to get here. I didn't get paid to be here. So at the end of the day, I'm here to have fun. And when I have fun, it's when I'm really pushing it on a motorcycle and trying to go as fast as I can. So yeah, all my stage finishes, everything up until now is just me going out there and having a good time. And there's not a lot of strategy into winning or losing or doing all this kind of stuff for me. For me, I'm just trying to ride the best I can. There's been a couple days, yeah, I've maybe tried to slow the pace down a little bit or try to speed it up here and there. So, yeah, for the rest of the week, I think I'm just going to try and go for it. But racing with Ricky and all that kind of stuff, it's just given me a lot more. I don't know. I never want to look back and say,
if only.
What if, you know?
Yeah.
If only I would have sold everything I owned and really tried to fundraise, maybe I could have gone back and done better. You know, so after all, everything that I sold, it's just stuff. It's all stuff that I can either replace or, you know, whatever. So I'll figure it out. I think you nailed it on the head, though. Being a dirt bike racer is pretty selfish because what we do is inherently dangerous. We still take the risks, you know, knowing what could potentially happen. But Ricky, the feeling behind it, you can't put a price on it. So,
Ricky, we're going out live at the moment, and Andrew Horn is monitoring readers' questions, viewers' questions. Andrew, what have you got for us?
SKYLER, thanks so much for joining us. It's great to have you with us, and I just think your story of selling everything you own is amazing. And on both of the topics you've just covered, number one from Stuart Gregory, he's asking if the KTM factory team is giving you any support, you know, after the first week since you've done so well. And another question from Alma Swart says, how do your South African fans and supporters buy some of your t-shirts and support your effort?
Yeah, so I do all of the shipping and everything on my own. So anything you would order off of my website, which is just SKYLERHOWES110.com, or actually, that's a lie. That was my old website. It's SKYLERHOWES.com. No one there. SKYLERHOWES.com. I have like some t-shirts and all that kind of stuff on there. Just the only thing is the shipping would be just a little bit more expensive. I think it's like $35 US to ship it around the world, which, you know, isn't too terrible, but yeah, it's a way that, yeah, I guess I couldn't, I don't know. I wanted to do something different than just a GoFundMe, and I think T-shirts, and I did something called the SH Squad, where I would put everyone's name on the bike that donated some money, things like that. So I thought it was pretty cool to keep everyone involved like that. But yeah, to get some T-shirts or some stickers and things like that, just SKYLERHOWES.com. I have my merch there, and I can ship around the world. But it won't go out to you until I get home from Saudi Arabia, probably around the first week of February. The other question about the KTM support, the support hasn't really changed since the first week. Obviously, they have quite a lineup of riders that they need to take care of and things like that. What they are doing for me is they kind of give me some suggestions on what to do as far as tire strategy. They also help me out a little bit with how much fuel consumption they are going to, they calculate for the day. So they tell me how much maybe I should put in the bike and maybe try to save weight here and there. So that's been quite nice to have their help there. But otherwise, I do have quite a bit of KTM logos all over the bike, and it's because this year they did help me out with a bit of parts allowance. So normally that bill would be, for reference, to even try to buy parts off of the KTM truck, you have to spend, I think it's roughly 1,500 euros to just get a card that gives you access to buy the parts. So that's something that they help me out with. They gave me a parts allowance this year, helped me out with parts and whatnot. So it has made things a little bit easier financially. But as far as getting actual legit support from the factory, no, they have their hands full for sure. They can't just add another rider mid-race. So, which is completely understandable. So my goal is to have a good enough result to where they can plan for me next year and give me the support, and I can be under that tent for next year.
And then you won't have to sell T-shirts on your body to get to Dakar, Skyler.
Yeah, no kidding. I was one step away from selling a kidney.
Skyler Howes, time marches on, and we really, really do appreciate your taking some time out from your rest day at Dakar 2021. And from the whole of South Africa and Raceday.tv, we wish you all the speed, safety, and fun and smiles, and keep the passion growing. Thanks for joining us on Raceday.tv. Your
Thank
website
you guys very
link,
much. It was a pleasure to be on.
the link to the merch and to the website is going below in the link of this video. Skyler, thank you.
I'm on it now.
Perfect. Yeah, thank you guys.
Cheers, Skyler. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. Nice to meet you officially, Steffi.
Perfect. Me too. Lots of love.
Okay, bye-bye, guys.
Cheers. Amazing how things happen and get to meet people, and man, the day marches on. It's after lunchtime o'clock already, and we're getting ready to have a roundtable discussion with a number of Dakar legends. Thank you very much for joining us so far. We will be back. Earlier we spoke to Glenn. Glenn had to go, which is why he cut us off so quickly. But we'll talk to you later. Steffi, thank you. Andrew, good work. Thank you very much. Join us a little bit later. Cheers.